what? Yeah?
I have a good friend, he does really well for himself, and he just got asked recently what products he sells on Amazon and what products he dropships with, and his answer was really interesting. His answer was, I've never sold anything on Amazon, I've never dropshipped because I would never put my name behind a product I don't believe in. While I understand his point of view, I also recognize that FBA selling and doing dropshipping is super profitable, and it is a viable way of making a living. You should not do it. But my question for these guys, these Amazon hustlers, is how do you fare with that? How do you fare with the idea that you're not selling something that you would totally wholeheartedly back, that you would absolutely unquestionably buy, and still kind of sleep at night? Because I've sold some shit in my life that I absolutely do not believe in, and I recognize that these guys aren't selling crap. I recognize that they're selling good stuff, but I want to know their answers. So that's the question, and we will start with I.
So you're asking about if you're not passionate about it, how are you selling it? I mean, two answers. The first one is I'm passionate about the growth, seeing a number grow. So even if I'm not passionate about the product, I'm passionate about seeing 2 sales go to 4 sales, go to 6 sales, go to 10 sales. So that gets me excited. And the second thing is I'm actually dropping the first 2 products that I'm selling. I dropped one of them and I'm going to stop the other one. And I'm going to start a brand that I'm excited about. But I got lucky that I found a product in a brand that I like. And I was debating stopping that first one because like I'll be an Amazon YouTuber who's not selling. But I'm like, screw it, like I want to do what I want to do. So I'm going to stop that product soon. And just last night I was sourcing that next product that's going to be the next brand that hopefully if I figure out how to launch it with you guys, with like the audience, I'll try to do that. But like, you know, with Amazon you can't really tell what the product is. But I'm gonna try to figure out how to do it publicly.
I can dig that answer. Okay.
So this is Paul Libretto. I don't have a YouTube channel yet, but maybe soon. I'm gonna take IG in the below. But I sell a product that I actually use and I'm passionate about. But I take a bit of a different approach. I think that you should definitely get into a niche that you have some knowledge of, because building a brand is very important. Putting your eyes on that customer and knowing what's important to them to create content, to create an audience.
Are you Australian?
South African.
South African? I don't know.
English.
I have no idea.
But I think that's important because that's how you're going to generate your marketing, and that's how you're actually going to know how to attract your audience. You know, if you're just going to sell lockpicks, for example, which is actually banned on Amazon, so don't sell that. But if you sell lockpicks and you're not really passionate about it, then you're not going to know who to target. So I think have a good balance of actually getting a product that's going to do well, but that you're going to know like what the target buyer is. So you don't really necessarily have to be passionate about it, but at least know how that's going to help the target buyer and audience, so you can build around that.
My name is Jim. I'm just beginning my Amazon journey. At the end of the day, I think
Tom's horse and he's fucking doing really well.
I know. I think at the end of the day, your question was like, how do you sell a product that you're not passionate about? Correct?
Well, it's yes. No, that is absolutely the question.
So here's the deal. I've been in sales. I used to sell stuff that I didn't believe in, and then I've since left that. And I told myself I'll never sell anything that, you know, that I hate, right? However, when it comes to Amazon, when it sells products, when it comes to selling products, there are things that I might sell that I'm not passionate about.
Yep.
And the only reason that I can do that is because at the end of the day, I have a mental goal. I know how much money I need to make passively in order to stop working, right? So selling on Amazon is literally just a tool to get me to that goal of making, my goal is $3,000 passively. As soon as I can hit that $3,000 a month mark, right, I don't have to be passionate about it, but at least when I hit that mark, I can stop working and I can focus on things I'm more passionate about. So it's all about that number, not about the money. It's about why you're doing it. I'm doing it because I want to supplement my income, I want to be able to travel, and I want to be able to focus on things that I'm passionate about at the end of the day.
I actually really like that answer. No offense, that was the best one yet.
Alright, so I own a skincare company with my girlfriend, right? I'm obviously not passionate about skincare. I'm all natural, look at this shit. But having said that, I am definitely not interested or I'm not passionate about skincare at all, right? So I've realized, okay, so let me backtrack a bit. I worked my ass off when it came to Amazon FBA. I was able to scale my business from $0 to $100,000 per month. And I still remember the day that I actually hit the $100,000 per month mark. I literally shed a tear. Like, I'm not even fucking joking. I fucking looked at my Amazon app, I saw 100K a month, and it was a flashback to all those nights where I was working with, Yellow Pages, and it seemed so surreal. And shortly after that, I went from 100 to 200, and once I hit the 200, I didn't feel shit. Like, I honestly didn't feel like anything at all. It was literally just, instead of a 1, it was a 2. So at that point, I realized that Amazon, for me, about skincare at least, it was just a number. But having said that, I'm not saying I'm not grateful or anything. Like, I'm fucking grateful, because without Amazon, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't meet all these amazing people that I'm meeting today. But where I realized is I don't want to just go from 200 to 300 to 400 to 500, because those are all just numbers. They're not going to bring me any more happiness. They're not going to bring me any more joy to my life, right? So that's why I decided to launch a course, because I find that more I feel a lot more satisfaction knowing that I can help guys like Paulo, knowing guys that I can help Jimmy to achieve their goal, right? So I find a lot more satisfaction in that. But having said that more, I really wish that I launched the brand on Amazon, where I can literally pick up where I can literally log into my Instagram story of my brand and just do a video right here. Like, just me talking to my audience and talking about my brand. But obviously I can't do that with my skincare company, because women would just be like, what the who are we buying skincare from? Like, who is this Asian guy talking about vitamin C serum? Like, obviously he has no clue what he's talking about. So I really, for my next, it's such a fucking it's such a a one way or number two, number one, number two. Number one is you're just selling on Amazon to make money, which, don't get me wrong, I love money, but number two is launching a brand that you truly, truly, truly believe in. And I feel like if you can go after that brand, bulletproof, the guy is passionate about health. That's why he grew his company, so he's the face of the company. I want to be a face to a company, and that's why I have Ecom Hub. I'm the face of the company, right? I'm very comfortable. I can pick up the phone right now, talk to my students in real life or whatever. Yeah, it's a very interesting question. I definitely had that thought, especially when I hit 100,000, dude. I swear to God, flashback, I cried, man. I didn't woohoo, but I one tear or a couple tears. It was a very emotional moment for my life. But yeah, like I said, 200, and so I know that pattern is going to continue. 200, 300, 400, it's just going to be numbers after that. For me, I really want to find something I'm passionate about, because that is what's gonna make it into a big ass business. But having said that, until you hit that point, all you gotta worry about is the numbers. Until you hit 100,000, 200,000, you just gotta worry about numbers. Once you hit that certain threshold, that's when you can think about the next thing. Oh, I'm passionate about this, I'm passionate about that. So for Jimmy's example that you just mentioned, right? He just wants to hit $3,000 per month. That's his goal right now. But once he hit that mark, his goal might change. It might be completely something else, right? So I think, when someone asks me oh, what's your 5-year goal? Dude, I don't know the fuck I'm gonna eat for dinner tomorrow. I have no idea what my goals are. Things change so fast. So I feel it's really important to focus on your short-term goals and just wake up, be better than you were yesterday, and hit those short-term goals. When you hit that goal, you'll have the next period of time that you plan out for yourself, and then you just gotta be better than you were yesterday. That's it. And you gotta get your instinct to tell you, you gotta get your gut to tell you where to go. Trust your gut.
I have a question. So let's say you did find something that you're passionate about, and I'm asking for a friend, and you want to become the face of that, but you're on YouTube. How would you do it and protect yourself and your brand, especially with Amazon FBA?
Oh, I'm not gonna tell my brand. I'm not gonna tell my brand. I get that, right? It's something about that.
What are you saying? You gotta what?
Protect your brand. You can't tell other people what your brand is.
I think that definitely sucks.
Why?
Because
On Amazon, you can't tell people
because you don't want competitors.
Because other people are gonna sell the same shit as you. It's a,
part of it is finding what you're selling.
Oh yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah, no, I understand that. Exactly. Then you're kind of screwed. Yeah.
So there's a bunch of people that are going to sell our product. So
Okay.
how do we like become the face of the brand if we're like so passionate about the brand and protect our Amazon business? I mean, Amazon products.
The biggest thing as well is, you know, yes, you'll get competitors or whatever, but like advertising costs, the more people you get in, like PPC goes up, it makes it tough for everybody else to do well even in that niche.
But it's not just about competition. It's also about like sabotaging your business.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like
because
I've had people buy dislikes to my videos for no fucking reason, and that's videos on YouTube. Imagine they buy fake reviews on my Amazon product,
Yeah.
then I'm screwed.
it is true. Like Amazon is unfortunately a very black hat friendly.
Very hostile.
environment.
It's a very hostile place.
It is.
To be true in order for them to continue doing what they're doing. And like I'll start by answering because like I know my answer.
That you're banking not to be true?
No, that you're banking to be true. Like for example, my whole financial disposition right now is based on one thing, and it's giving. I'm banking on the fact that I receive good advice, which was the fact that when you give, good things happen to you, and when you're open to receiving, better things happen to you. You can't just give and not be open to receive. You got to open up the full channel so the circle's complete. But what I'm saying is that a lot of people wait to give, right? I found that if you don't give a dime out of a dollar, don't bullshit yourself. You're not going to give 10,000 out of a million. You just won't. So my point in hand is that to give is to also receive. And I understand that when you give the truest parts of yourself to the world, history has proven over the course of time that the individuals who are courageous enough to give their most vulnerable, true, passionate, loving parts of themselves to the world have a weird way of just having a life that seems to be well sorted. Not one free of problems, but one that's well sorted. So if I were banking on something, it would be that belief being true. I don't know if it is. I just do believe that it is. So I'd be curious, what are you banking on?
I'll start someone else. That was heavy.
Yeah?
That was heavy.
Wait, so like, what's your question?
What are you banking on?
What is that, like?
What are you banking on? What really? It could be small, it could be big, it could be deep, it could be not deep. But what are you banking on to be true? Banking? Banking? Like what are you betting on? What are you risking? What
Dude,
are
I
you
think,
unconsciously
bro,
believing without any real conscious evidence that that would actually exist is true, but you believe it's true, and that is a huge reason why you're successful. And
Fuck,
reason
someone
why
has
you
some
feel
weed or
you
something? Like, give me some weed. No, I'm just kidding.
What's that?
I think at the end of the day, it's all about people. Like what's happening right here, like I think at the end of the day, it's all about people, man. Like people are, it's just betting on the right people. Like
That's interesting. That's interesting. I like that answer.
But it's all, it's like 1 + 1 does not equal to 2. 1 + 1 could be -5. Or it could be +20.
Yeah, that's a sick point. I like that.
Like,
there's no quantifiable way
I'm
to understand if you're around the right person. It's a bet.
Dude, like, it's honestly, bro. Like at the end of the day, for me, I've been blessed to surround myself with fucking good people. But the only way I was able to do that is by opening up.
Yeah.
Like starting the YouTube channel, telling people like shit happening in my life. So I had like stuff like that, you know. Like
I like that.
I think it's all about people, man.
I like that answer. Who else has an answer?
I got one. I think I got one.
Okay.
I think there's so much noise on the internet now. Everyone is an expert at something, and everyone's saying a million different answers. And I think what I'm betting on is being true, authentic, genuine, and really caring about people. And I think that will sort out the noise in this space. And I think, to me, that people will get to a point where they don't know what to do because there's so much information and so much scamming going on. And I think that people who are authentic and genuine and caring about individuals, they're going to rise. And I think that other people will follow. And
I like
think
that.
Just being genuine.
That was
Real.
dope. That was really dope. That was really dope.
good.
I like
All right.
that. Do you have an answer, my man?
Sure. I'm not where everybody else is at here, like with the Amazon.
I don't have an Amazon business, so you cannot be worse off than me.
Well, actually, then we're on the same level.
Okay, cool.
But I'm betting on and banking on that, on my like potential, I guess. I feel like there's kind of measure success, and people have different definitions on success. But I know like where I'm at right now, like in life, and where I kind of want to go, and I think there's like a gap of like your potential and where you can kind of meet that. So I think I'm betting on that there's more for me, and like fulfillment and passion will come from closing that gap and working, higher towards where I think I can be.
I like that. I really like that, man. Who else has an answer? You have one?
My answer is kind of woo-woo, but at the end of the day, I'm a big believer in law of attraction. So I know it's like kind of that corny stuff, but I'll give you an example. Like I've gone through a lot of failures in my life, but I've figured out as long as I can stay focused on something, right? As many failures that I go through, I'll find ways to attract the right people. I'll find ways to figure out a way. Even though I'm not successful now, eventually things will come together. So I'm not 100% successful in Amazon. I've had a few failures already, but I'm banking on the idea as long as I stay focused, as long as I keep focusing, things will come together. Right? I haven't been successful in Amazon, but I've been successful in other areas of my life in terms of investing. You know, I never actually went to college, but I'm still making 6 figures every year.
Fuck college.
Fuck college, right? Like I never thought.
What's that? I went to college. I just
I never thought without a college education you can make fucking 6 figures. But guess what? Like I figured it out. Like at the end of the day, I'm banking on as long as you stay focused on something every single day, regardless of your failures, you attract the people you need. You attract everything you need to. And as long as you take action on those things, like things will work out.
Hashtag real talk. You know what I mean?
Can I squeeze in there and say one thing?
Yeah, go for it.
Steve Jobs obviously had a quote.
Love him.
All the dots will connect when you look back, but it wouldn't connect like right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like, first of all, that's very, very true. And I feel like everything fucking happens for a reason. Like based on everything I've experienced. Like for me, I got kicked out of 3 colleges. I got rejected by 20 employers. Like no one fucking believed in me, but like I believed in myself. But like without any of that happening, looking back, like I would not be where I am today.
I dig that.
And I feel like whenever something negative happens in my life now, I always think about like putting myself in the future and looking back, be like that negative thing was actually the best thing that could happen to you at that time. And I feel like having that mindset is just such a positive and great mindset to have. But obviously I can't preach that to anyone. Like you have to experience that shit yourself. Like just look back on the shit that like fucked you up and look back where you are today. Like try to connect the dots, man, because like it will always connect.
I love that. We have 2 unspoken answers.
No, I just want to continue from that. Like if you're low, you're just gonna go up. Like if you're at a place where you're happy and you're steady and you have a job and you're just going partying and you're doing your thing, you might not have the motivation to do something new or do something different. So like I moved to Canada alone. I had nobody here, and all my friends stayed back in Lebanon. Most of them moved to Dubai, and like they're together. Nothing changed for them. They're still doing the same thing, and I love them. Like they're happy, good for them. But like I was in Canada, had no job for a whole year. I had nobody, but then like that was a very low point. But there was only up where I could go, and I ended up here, and it wouldn't have happened if I wasn't that low. And that's just the
Congratulations,
on that
bro. That's a dope story.
Thanks.
All right, my guy. Oh, you want to say N?
No, it's just the beginning. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So I have a bit of a different perspective as well. I think just kind of going against societal norms into what they indoctrinate you to say, like this is the typical go to university, get a job, and like work your way into like 60 years old and then live on your retirement. If anybody's read like The Millionaire Fast Lane, it's a great book, but essentially it just goes into the fact that like entrepreneurs are kind of the next level of making sure that you have a sustainable life, and going off of what Ryan Moran says, he says like entrepreneurs are what's going to save kind of society in a way that more than government would. And I think that we were groomed into a way, like I personally, I was a huge person that was into 9-to-5 corporate. Like I hated the thought of like entrepreneurship because I thought it was not that it was a scam, but it's like only for the rich and famous, or like all these, there was more.
Entrepreneurship is a scam. They got it. Yo, that whole entrepreneurship thing's a scam.
These guys all somehow like made it there, like with with some edge, and now I feel like there's so much more advantages than just monetary in taking control of your life and going against society, what they've actually groomed you towards. And I think that like everybody should realize that they can actually take control of what they want to do and make their own life without having to rely on like getting a job and working towards and just investing like 2% gains every year and then only enjoying your life when you're 60 years old. I think you should enjoy your life from when you're like 20 years old and up. Whenever, you know, just make it yourself and take the risks. I wish I took more risks when I was younger.
I dig that, man.
And it's more possible than ever now.
100%.
Those are some really great answers. This isn't even my vlog, but I gave it. Remember the giving thing? I'm banking on giving. Yeah.